A serious danger is looming towards the Ukrainian defenders. Huge columns of armored vehicles are splitting up and attacking the positions of the AFU. The first tank is stepping on a mine barrier. Ukrainian drones are on red alert. The APC, which came closest to the wooded area, becomes the target of the first drone. After an accurate hit, we see a huge wall of smoke. A moment later, another Russian tank becomes the victim of a kamikaze drone. An AFU soldier fires a shot from an RPG. The precision strike destroys the ugly Frankenstein tank. Another tank falls into the crosshairs of an ATGM. Shots fired. The battlefield is covered in smoke. A Russian tin can approaches a wooded area, but immediately steps on a mine. Another target arrives. A Ukrainian drone drops explosives right on the turret. Another drone strikes, and the tank turns into molecules. The Ukrainian drones keep firing. It's clear the attack has failed. A mine stops the tank that tried to escape. The other two targets also decide to flee. An AFU drone was able to track one of them. The first strike stops the enemy. The second drone hits the ammunition and causes a massive fire. In a matter of minutes, the target is reduced to dust. The Russian attack has failed. A group of drones fly in to burn the remaining armored vehicles. A T-80 gets hit right on the inside and catches fire instantly. Another tank is hit. The next target is an APC. And the final blow. Bright flames envelop the enemy scumbag. The attack is stopped, but the Ukrainian infantrymen are in a bad situation. They need help. Bradley rides out at lightning speed to evacuate his fellow soldiers. To buy some time, cluster munitions are used. Bradley arrives and fires on the Russian positions. As they recover, he conducts the evacuation. The Bushmaster cannon sizzles the wooded area, allowing them to successfully escape the danger zone. I think this kind of work by the AFU deserves your likes. Look how intimidating the Abrams is. These buildings need to be destroyed. Ukrainian intelligence sends the coordinates to the American Beast. It only takes a few rounds to do the job. This is a $60 million Russian Kasta radar station. In the middle is the hardware and antenna machine. Above that is the diesel power plant. HIMARS is launching missiles. The first missile takes out the hardware machine. We see a tungsten fragmentation zone. Immediately afterward, the power plant is hit. The next target is a P-18 radar station. This one's worth about $3 million. Two projectiles from the HIMARS come in close to the target. The shrapnel disables the radar station. At the same time, the tank could not get far. Several kamikaze drones turn it into a pile of useless metal. And you've never seen so many Russian APCs. One of the tanks is hit by a mine. The others continue the attack. The column splits up. The first group successfully makes it to the right place, but the Ukrainian artillery became a big problem for them. At the same time, we see a drone hit one of the targets. The APC is enveloped in fire. The second group moves on. The tanks break through the mine barriers and reach the desired forest clearing. The armored vehicles stop and become an easy target for the AFU. Drones and artillery are hitting the enemy without stopping. there are accurate hits. Someone is going to escape. A drone strike stops the first APC, and a mine stops the second one from leaving. The drone flies right inside that APC. We see a massive explosion. The flames are slowly spreading, and the tin can is no longer operational. Let's move to another direction. This is where the Russians have decided to launch a major assault. The thermal imaging drone transmits information about a huge column of armored vehicles. We see the first target being hit by a mine. A precision kamikaze drone strike eliminates the second target. The column splits up. This MTLB took a hit and tried to hide in the foliage, but they found it there too. A precision strike, and we see a spectacular explosion from several angles. Then, in a very targeted strike, the drone destroys the tank. It is instantly enveloped in fire. A strike on a Russian APC. The flames reach the ammunition, and a strong explosion turns the equipment into ashes. We see the next target from the drone operator's console. A targeted FPV hits the Russian APC. Fire appears. The APC has stopped, with a second targeted hit. FPV takes out the enemy. The drones have also taken out the rest of the enemy. Look how easy they're making it. Next, Recon has located a Russian Tulip mortar. One drone can easily take out an enemy. Even though it was very dangerous. Then he quickly grabbed a fire extinguisher and successfully put out the fire. This tank was able to return home and was subsequently repaired. As a result, this brave guy saved the tank and the rest of the crew. We also have footage of another fatal duel. This Russian tank on the edge of the village engaged in battle with a Ukrainian tank. We see the Russian tank firing towards the Ukrainian tank. However, the shell likely missed. In response, the Ukrainian tank fires back at the Russian tank and hits it directly. From the incoming shell, the Russian tank immediately exploded and was completely destroyed. Then the Ukrainian tank left the battlefield. Now, take a look at this video. This is probably the most epic tank duel of the entire war. We see one tank moving forward, while the second tank is in ambush. At one moment, the second tank delivers a crushing blow to the first tank. As a result, the first tank was destroyed. Unfortunately, it is unknown which side the first and second tanks belong to. If you have any ideas, please write them down in the comments. But Ukrainian tank crews are not eager to get close to the enemy in Soviet-made tanks, knowing how vulnerable they are. In this video, you can see one such tank approaching the Russians within a few dozen meters. However, doing so is very dangerous. The Russians can use anti-tank grenades and easily damage the tank. If the tank does not have additional protection, it can easily explode. Even the lightest anti-tank weapons can destroy a Soviet-designed tank. Sometimes the Ukrainians get lucky, and the grenades fly past, right over their heads. Therefore, Ukrainian soldiers use old tanks very carefully. The war machines tried to hide in the dense forest, but failed. Followed by ignition and further detonation. Ammunition like lasers going off in different directions. And it was spotted 2 command posts and a lot of military vehicles. It's one of the most powerful scenes where HIMARS destroy so many military vehicles. Fire everywhere, shell detonation, smoke. HIMARS spares no one and nothing. And accurate hits, a column of military vehicles turns into a pile of metal. Because of the hit, the ammunition fires. A very powerful explosion. And we see the entire column of military vehicles destroyed. And here's another video of the destruction of a Russian convoy of vehicles. The convoy of vehicles has no chance of survival from such powerful and accurate hits. No time to run away. And here's another hit on the convoy. A reconnaissance drone spotted a $100 million SA-17 Grizzly launcher, and then HIMARS destroys it with a precision strike, Donetsk direction. And another Russian SA-17 was spotted near Antonivka and immediately destroyed with a massive detonation of ammunition. They work in tandem with aerial reconnaissance guys who use drones to track down targets and relay the coordinates to the HIMARS team that they strike. Right now you can watch the most accurate flight from HIMARS on the temporary deployment of Russian troops. All personnel that were inside the buildings were neutralized. And these are 2 M1990 FARM self-propelled howitzers hidden along a wooded area, each costing $1.6 million, and were destroyed first by one high-precision strike by HIMARS, and then by a second. Accurate destruction of the Russian BM-21 Grad multiple rocket launcher, followed by the triggering of the ammunition. Look at that hit in slow motion. The missile explodes right above the driver's cab, a precision hit. And this video shows the destruction of an enemy BM-21 Grad multiple rocket launcher and ammunition depot in the southern sector of the front line. The Special Operations Forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine adjusted their fire on the enemy targets. And these are the twin towers of Donetsk. The scouts spotted enemy anti-tank guided missile, antenna and surveillance system, then relayed the information to the operator to strike. In the Zaporizhzhia sector, fighters of the Flying Skull Aerial Reconnaissance Unit discovered a Russian M1987 howitzer that was camouflaged in a forest belt. After receiving the coordinates, our rocket artillery needed only one shot from HIMARS to destroy the enemy gun. An enemy multiple rocket launcher was seen in this video, trying to hide in the trees. As we can see, it failed. Just look at the massive explosion and the hundreds of thousands of pieces of shrapnel. And And this is a self-propelled artillery unit that was camouflaged in the trees. The reconnaissance drone relayed the information for the strike. The artillery unit immediately bursts into flames from a precision hit. And then the ammunition inside is detonated. The aerial reconnaissance men, using the EOS UAV, adjust the fire of the HIMARS MLRS. It goes off like New Year's Eve fireworks. This footage shows the first officially confirmed destruction of a $40 million SA-27 Golem missile guidance and illumination radar station. A very rare air defense system, ended its war in the Kherson region after a HIMARS strike. Destruction of a state-of-the-art Russian Yastreb AV counter-battery radar system worth about $250 million in the Kherson region. Most likely, the complex's task was to detect Ukrainian artillery covering the bridgehead in Krinky on the left bank of the occupied part of the Kherson region. But the AFU fighters foiled the enemy's plans. This is a shark filming the effective work of HIMARS destroying a Russian BM-21 Grad MLRS near Kostarizovo, Kherson region. The enemy vehicle was discovered by the 140th Marine Reconnaissance Battalion. The military vehicle was wiped clean by the missile. The video shows a Russian tank T-62M, which stands in the Caponier. But for HIMARS, it's not a problem, because it allows you not to miss a meter. The tank crew is as neutralized as the tank itself. The selection is rounded off by the spectacular destruction of a Russian 152mm M19 990 farm in the Avdiivka sector by a HIMARS strike. Near the town of Bakhmut, the SSO fighters reconnoitered the positions of the 1L219M artillery reconnaissance radar complex and the Borisoglebsk K2 electronic warfare station. The total value of the destroyed equipment is $210 million. The information received about their location was passed on to the rocket and artillery unit. Thanks to the quick and efficient work, HIMARS missiles destroyed enemy equipment and almost all enemy manpower. Here's another electronic warfare Borisoglebsk managed to spot. Powerful shot and a very nice smoke mushroom